She heard footsteps in the attic, every night at 3 a.m., pacing back and forth, directly above her bed. Then, she found the camera, hidden in her smoke detector, pointed at her while she slept. Her caregiver said she was imagining things, dementia, paranoia, old age. But Eleanor Vaughn knew the truth. Someone was watching her. Someone was poisoning her. And someone was waiting for her to die. What Eleanor didn't know, her trusted caregiver was a serial killer. 15 elderly people already dead, $2 million stolen, and Eleanor had maybe 2 weeks left to live. This is the darkest case I've ever investigated, the one that still keeps me up at night. Because the monster wasn't hiding in the shadows. She was standing right next to the victim, smiling, caring, killing. I'm Marcus Stone, and this is the Caretaker. The call came at 2:13 a.m. I should have known it would be bad. The really dark cases, the ones that keep you up for weeks afterward, they always start in the dead of night. I answered on the first ring. Stone. The voice on the other end was barely a whisper. Female, elderly, terrified. Mr. Stone, please, you have to help me. There's someone in my house. I was already sitting up, adrenaline kicking in. Ma'am, have you called 911? I did, 3 times. The police came. They searched. They said there's nobody here. But I know. I can hear them. Every night. Footsteps in the attic. Someone watching me sleep. Classic signs of paranoia. Maybe dementia. But something in her voice stopped me from dismissing it. Pure, primal fear. The kind you can't fake. What's your name? Eleanor. Eleanor Vaughn. I'm 78 years old and I'm not crazy. Someone is in this house, and I think they're trying to kill me. That got my attention. Where are you right now? My bedroom. Door locked. I pushed the dresser in front of it. My caretaker is downstairs. She says I'm imagining things. But Mr. Stone, my pills don't look right. My food tastes strange. And last week I found a camera, hidden in my smoke detector, pointed at my bed. My blood ran cold. Don't eat or drink anything. Don't take any medications. I'm coming right now. What's your address? 1847 Ashland Avenue, Evanston. Please hurry. I don't know how much time I have. 25 minutes later, I was pulling up to a Victorian house in Evanston, just north of Chicago. Beautiful old home. 3 stories, surrounded by mature trees. The kind of place that looks charming in daylight, but sinister as hell at 3 a.m. Every light in the house was off except one. 3rd floor. A single window glowing. Eleanor's room. My name is Marcus Stone. I'm a private investigator who specializes in elder exploitation, family crimes, and the predators who hunt the vulnerable. But this case, this one was different. This one was going to show me that sometimes the real monsters aren't hiding in the shadows. They're standing right next to you, smiling, pretending to care. If you're watching this late at night, you might want to turn on some lights. This investigation goes to places that'll make your skin crawl. Hit that subscribe button now, because this is the darkest case I've ever worked. And if you make it to the end, you'll never look at caregivers the same way again. I rang the doorbell, waited, rang again. Finally, the porch light flicked on and the door opened. A woman in her mid-30s stood there, attractive, professionally dressed even at 3 a.m. Blonde hair pulled back, kind eyes, warm smile. Everything about her screamed trustworthy caregiver. "Can I help you?" she asked, voice dripping with concern. "I'm Marcus Stone, private investigator. Eleanor Vaughn called me." The woman's expression shifted. Worry. Oh God. She called you? I'm so sorry. Eleanor has been having episodes. Dementia, you see. She gets confused, paranoid, calls people in the middle of the night with these wild stories. What's your name? Angela. Angela Morrison. I'm Eleanor's live-in caretaker. I've been taking care of her for 6 months now. She said someone's been in the house, that she found a hidden camera. Angela sighed, the picture of patient understanding. She did find something in the smoke detector. It was a carbon monoxide sensor, the new digital kind. It has a little light on it. She thought it was a camera. I tried to explain, but she was so upset. Plausible. Dementia patients do get confused about technology. She also said her medications looked different. Her prescriptions were refilled last week. Same medication, different manufacturer. The pills are a slightly different color. I showed her the bottle, explained it, but she insists something's wrong. Also plausible. Everything Angela was saying made sense, but my gut was screaming that something was off. I'd like to speak with Eleanor. Of course, but please, don't encourage her delusions. Her daughter and I have been working so hard to keep her calm. These paranoid episodes are exhausting for everyone. Red flag. Isolated from family. Caretaker controlling the narrative. Angela led me upstairs. The house was immaculate. Too clean. The kind of clean that feels staged. As we climbed to the 3rd floor, I noticed something. New locks on Eleanor's bedroom door, installed from the outside. Why does her door lock from the outside? Angela didn't miss a beat. Safety precaution. Eleanor wanders at night. We were worried she'd fall down the stairs. This way we can keep her safe. That's not safety. That's imprisonment. We reached Eleanor's door. Angela knocked softly. "Eleanor? Sweetheart? The investigator you called is here." Silence. Then the sound of furniture scraping, the dresser being moved. The door cracked open, and I saw Eleanor Vaughn for the first time. Thin. Too thin. Gaunt face, hollow eyes, trembling hands. This woman looked like she was dying. "Mr. Stone." Her voice was stronger than on the phone. Relieved. "I'm here, Mrs. Vaughn. Can I come in?" She nodded, shooting a nervous glance at Angela. As I entered, Angela tried to follow. I turned, blocking her path. "I need to speak with Mrs. Vaughn privately. I really should stay. For Eleanor's protection. I'm a licensed investigator. I'm not a threat. Give us 10 minutes. Angela's smile never wavered, but her eyes went cold. Just for a second. Then she nodded. "Of course. I'll be downstairs if you need anything." As soon as Angela's footsteps faded, Eleanor grabbed my arm with surprising strength. "She's going to kill me," she whispered. "I don't know when. I don't know how. But every day I get weaker, and she watches. Always watching." I spent an hour with Eleanor. She told me everything. Angela Morrison had been hired 6 months ago through a home care agency called Loving Hands Senior Care. Eleanor's daughter, who lived in California, had arranged it after Eleanor fell and broke her hip. At first, Angela was perfect, attentive, kind, competent. Eleanor's daughter was relieved. Eleanor was getting excellent care. But 3 months in, things changed. Eleanor started feeling sick, dizzy, nauseous, constant headaches. Angela said it was just her age, her medications, stress from the fall. She convinced Eleanor's daughter it was normal. Then Eleanor started losing weight, couldn't keep food down. Angela made her special meals, said she was using recipes for sensitive stomachs. But the food tasted strange, bitter. Eleanor tried to tell her daughter. Angela was always in the room for phone calls, monitoring every word. If Eleanor said something concerning, Angela would gently interrupt. "She's having a confused day. Don't worry, I've got it under control." 2 months ago, Eleanor heard footsteps above her bedroom, in the attic. At 3 a.m., she told Angela. Angela checked, said it was just the house settling. Old pipes, nothing to worry about. But the footsteps continued, every night, pacing back and forth, sometimes stopping right above Eleanor's bed. Then, Eleanor found the camera, hidden in the smoke detector, aimed directly at her bed. She confronted Angela. Angela had a perfect explanation, showed her it was just a sensor, made Eleanor feel foolish. But Eleanor knew what she saw. A lens, a red recording light. Last week was the breaking point. Eleanor woke up at 2 a.m. and saw her bedroom door cracked open. Someone standing there in the darkness, watching. When Eleanor screamed, Angela rushed in, said Eleanor had been dreaming. But Eleanor knew. She wasn't dreaming. Someone had been in her room. That's when she started researching private investigators. Found my number. Called me when Angela was supposedly asleep. "Mrs. Vaughn, I need to be straight with you. What you're describing could be explained by medical issues, dementia, paranoia from isolation. But it could also be something much darker. I need to investigate thoroughly before I can say for certain. I know what I saw. I know what I heard. Please, I don't have much time." I believed her. Maybe I shouldn't have. Maybe I was letting empathy cloud my judgment. But I'd been doing this long enough to recognize real fear. "I'm going to need access to your medical records, your medications, your financial information. I need to know who has power of attorney, who benefits if something happens to you." Eleanor pulled out a folder from under her bed. She'd been preparing. Bank statements, insurance policies, medical records, power of attorney documents. Smart woman. She knew she was in danger. I spent the next hour documenting everything. Then I noticed something that made my skin crawl. Eleanor had a life insurance policy, $500,000, and the beneficiary had been changed 6 weeks ago, from her daughter to Angela Morrison. "Mrs. Vaughn, did you change your life insurance beneficiary?" "No. I would never. My daughter is my only heir. This document has your signature." Eleanor put on her reading glasses, studied the paper. Her hands started shaking. "That's not my signature. It's close, but look at the E in Eleanor. I always loop it twice. This only loops once. Forgery. This just became attempted murder." I left Eleanor's house at 5 a.m., told Angela I'd be in touch, that everything seemed fine, that Eleanor was just having some confusion. Angela smiled, thanked me for being understanding, but as I walked to my car, I felt eyes on me. I turned, looked up at the third-floor window. Eleanor's curtain moved. She'd been watching, making sure I left safely. But there was another window, second floor, attic access. And in that window for just a second I saw a shadow, someone else watching. Angela hadn't been in bed. She'd been in the attic, right above Eleanor's room. First thing the next morning, I called my contact at the Illinois Department of Public Health. Time to investigate Loving Hands Senior Care. What I found made my blood run cold. Loving Hands had been operating for 3 years. They'd placed caregivers in over 200 homes across the Chicago area. And in the last 2 years, 15 of their clients had died. 15. Now, elderly clients dying isn't unusual. That's the nature of elder care. But these deaths, all sudden, all ruled natural causes, heart attacks, strokes, medication reactions, and all 15 had the same caregiver at some point in their last 6 months, Angela Morrison. I pulled the death certificates, the insurance claims, the wills and beneficiary documents. 12 of the 15 had changed their life insurance beneficiaries right before death. Some to Angela directly, others to shell companies, charities that didn't exist, accounts that traced back to offshore banking. This wasn't neglect. This wasn't even just financial exploitation. This was serial murder. If you're feeling that chill down your spine right now, good. That means you understand what Eleanor Vaughn was living with every single day. Hit that like button if you want me to catch this monster, and drop a comment if you think you could survive what comes next, because we're only getting started. I needed proof. Suspicion and circumstantial evidence wouldn't be enough to stop Angela before she killed Eleanor. I needed to catch her in the act. I called in a favor from a tech expert I'd worked with before, Luis, the same guy who'd helped me on the Robert Sullivan case. Within 4 hours, we had a plan. Eleanor agreed to let us install hidden cameras throughout her house. In the bedroom, the hallway, the kitchen, even the attic. Tiny professional-grade surveillance equipment. Angela would never spot them. The installation happened while Angela was out grocery shopping. Eleanor kept her phone on, ready to alert us the second Angela returned. We had exactly 90 minutes. Luis worked fast. 7 cameras total, all connected to a secure server I could monitor from my laptop in real time. "Marcus," Luis said as we finished the attic camera installation, "you need to see this." He pointed to the corner of the attic. A camping mat, blankets, a pillow, books, water bottles, and photographs. Dozens of photographs of Eleanor, sleeping, eating, bathing. Every intimate moment of her life, captured and collected like trophies. "She's been living up here," I said, "watching Eleanor sleep." "That's not all." Luis pointed to a small shelf. Medication bottles, but the labels were wrong. Eleanor's name, Eleanor's prescriptions, but filled with different pills. Luis carefully photographed everything. "We need to get these tested." "Already on it. I'll bag them, send them to the lab. Results in 48 hours. As we were leaving the attic, I noticed something else. A journal, leather-bound, hidden under the mat. I opened it, started reading, and my blood turned to ice. It was a kill list. 15 names. 15 elderly people, all crossed out. Next to each name, dates, cause of death, amount collected from insurance or estate, and at the bottom of the current page, not crossed out yet, Eleanor Vaughn, $500,000. Estimated completion, 2 weeks. Angela wasn't just a caregiver. She was a professional killer, and Eleanor had maybe 2 weeks to live. That night, I watched the surveillance feeds from my car parked a block away from Eleanor's house. Luis monitored from his apartment, recording everything. At first, nothing unusual. Angela made dinner. Eleanor ate but pushed most of it away, said she wasn't hungry. Angela insisted, gently encouraging. Eleanor finally ate a few more bites. Within an hour, Eleanor was vomiting. Angela cleaned her up, put her to bed, gave her medication for the nausea. I watched Eleanor's bedroom camera. She took the pill, swallowed water, lay down. Angela sat beside the bed, watching, waiting. Her expression wasn't concern, it was anticipation. At 11 p.m., Angela left Eleanor's room, locked the door from the outside, and went downstairs. I watched her on the kitchen camera. She pulled out her phone, made a call. I couldn't hear the conversation, but I could read her body language. Excited, pleased. She was smiling. At midnight, Angela went to the second floor, opened the attic access door, climbed up. The attic camera caught everything. Angela settled onto her camping mat, pulled out her journal, made an entry. I zoomed in, took screenshots. She was documenting Eleanor's decline, noting symptoms, weight loss, how many more doses she estimated it would take. Then Angela pulled out a different notebook, and this one made me want to vomit. It was titled, Next Targets, 20 names, elderly people, photos, addresses, assets listed next to each name. Angela had been researching her next victims while her current one was dying one floor below. At 2 a.m., Angela crept down from the attic, unlocked Eleanor's door, stood in the doorway, just watching. Eleanor was asleep, or pretending to be. I couldn't tell from the camera angle. Angela walked to the bed, leaned over. For a moment I thought she was going to smother Eleanor right then. Instead, she took a photo. Eleanor sleeping, vulnerable, unaware. Then Angela whispered something. The audio barely picked it up, but Luis cleaned it up, sent me the enhanced version. Soon, just a little longer, then you'll be with the others. She left, locked the door again, went back to the attic. I'd seen enough. I called Detective Sarah Martinez. Sarah, I need you to listen very carefully. I have a serial killer actively murdering an elderly woman. I have video evidence. I have a kill list. And if we don't move right now, Eleanor Vaughn will be dead within 2 weeks. The lab results came back. 36 hours later, the medications Angela had been giving Eleanor, rat poison, mixed with antifreeze, in gradually increasing doses. The symptoms Eleanor experienced, nausea, dizziness, weight loss, organ failure, were classic poisoning. Slow enough that it looked like natural decline. Fast enough that she'd be dead within months. Angela had been doing this for 2 years. 15 successful kills, millions stolen. And she'd never been caught because she was patient, methodical, professional. She'd pick elderly clients living alone, isolated from family, build trust, get herself added to life insurance policies, wills, power of attorney documents. Then, slowly, poison them over 4 to 6 months. By the time they died, everyone, including doctors, believed it was natural causes. old age, pre-existing conditions. Nobody suspected murder, except Eleanor. She'd figured it out, and that made her dangerous to Angela. Martinez assembled a task force. FBI got involved because Angela had crossed state lines, worked in multiple states. This wasn't just elder abuse. This was serial murder. Federal charges. Life in prison. Minimum. But we had a problem. We had evidence of poisoning. We had surveillance footage of Angela's suspicious behavior. We had the kill list journal. What we didn't have was Angela in the act of administering poison. A good defense attorney could argue the journals were fantasy, that someone else had access to the attic, that the surveillance was circumstantial. We needed to catch her red-handed. Martinez proposed a sting operation. Let Angela think everything was normal. Wait for her to make her next move. Catch her actually poisoning Eleanor. But that meant leaving Eleanor in danger. "I'll do it," Eleanor said, when we explained the plan. "If it stops her from killing anyone else, I'll do it." Bravest damn woman I've ever met. 78 years old, sick from being poisoned, scared out of her mind, and she was willing to be bait to catch a serial killer. We set it up for 3 days later. Undercover officers would be stationed around the house. I'd be inside, hidden in Eleanor's closet with a body camera. Martinez would be coordinating from a van down the street. Eleanor would pretend to be sicker than usual. Weak, compliant, an easy target. And we'd wait for Angela to strike. The day of the sting, Eleanor played her part perfectly. She stayed in bed most of the day, complained of severe pain, asked Angela for extra medication. Angela was all sympathy. "Of course, sweetheart. Let me get you something stronger. This will help you rest." I watched through the crack in the closet door. Angela went to the kitchen, came back with a glass of water and 2 pills. But I'd seen her on the camera. She'd crushed up extra pills, added them to the glass. A massive dose. This was it. She was going for the kill. Tonight. Eleanor took the glass, brought it to her lips, pretended to swallow, actually palmed the pills. Method we'd practiced a dozen times. "There you go," Angela said, her voice dripping with fake sweetness. "Just rest now. Everything will be better soon." Better, meaning dead. Angela left the room, locked the door. I heard her footsteps going down the stairs, then up to the attic. I stepped out of the closet. Eleanor spit the pills into a plastic bag, sealed it. Evidence. Her hands were shaking. "You did great," I whispered. "Are you okay? I want her arrested. Now, before I lose my nerve." I radioed Martinez. "Target administered poison. Victim is safe. Pills secured. Move in." Within minutes, I heard the front door being breached. Officers shouting, "Police! Search warrant!" Angela came scrambling down from the attic. I heard her yelling, "What's going on? Why are you here? Eleanor needs rest, you can't." Then she saw Eleanor's bedroom door open, saw me standing there, saw Eleanor alive, alert, staring at her. Angela's mask dropped, just for a second, and what I saw underneath was chilling. No emotion, no fear, just cold calculation. She tried to run, made it maybe 5 feet before 3 officers tackled her. At the station, Angela lawyered up immediately. But we had everything. The journals, the surveillance footage, the poisoned medications, the forged documents, the kill list. Her lawyer advised her to stay silent, but Angela, like many serial killers, wanted to talk, needed to explain, needed to justify. Martinez and I watched the interrogation through the one-way glass. Angela sat calmly, hands folded, expression neutral. "You want to know why?" she said to the interrogating detective. "I'll tell you why. Because it's easy. Because nobody cares about old people. They're invisible, dying, lonely. Nobody questions when they die. You killed 15 people. I helped 15 people die. They were suffering, miserable. I gave them purpose. Their deaths funded my life. That's more purpose than they had sitting in their houses waiting to die anyway." The detective kept his composure, barely. "And Eleanor Vaughn?" Angela smiled. Actually smiled. Eleanor was a challenge, smarter than the others. She figured it out. But she had no proof, no allies. If she'd just died quietly like she was supposed to, none of this would have happened. You were going to kill her. I was going to ease her suffering. For a fee. Where's the money? The insurance payouts. Offshore accounts. Investments. Real estate. I've made over $2 million in 2 years. Not bad for a caregiver, right? She was proud. Genuinely proud of being a serial killer. What about their families? The people who loved them? What families? Most of my clients were alone. That's why they needed caregivers. Nobody visited. Nobody called. I was the only person in their lives. I controlled everything. Eleanor's daughter called regularly, and I controlled those calls. Told her what to think. Told her Eleanor was confused, declining, that it was natural. She believed every word. The detective laid out photos. All 15 victims. Names, ages, faces. "Look at them," he said. "Say," he said. "Say their names." Angela didn't even glance down. "Why?" "They're gone. They don't matter anymore." That's when I knew. Angela Morrison wasn't just a killer. She was a psychopath. No empathy, no remorse, no humanity. She'd killed 15 people, tortured Eleanor for months, and she felt nothing. The federal prosecutor threw everything at Angela. 15 counts of first-degree murder, 15 counts of elder abuse, fraud, forgery, conspiracy, attempted murder. The trial lasted 6 weeks. The evidence was overwhelming. The journals, the video footage, Eleanor's testimony, the toxicology reports, the financial records showing exactly where the stolen money went. Angela's defense tried to argue mental illness, that she was delusional, believed she was helping people. The jury didn't buy it. The journals were too detailed, too calculated, too proud. Guilty. All counts. Sentencing was 3 months later. I attended with Eleanor, who'd made a full recovery once the poisoning stopped. The judge was a severe-looking man in his 70s who'd clearly taken this case personally. "Ms. Morrison, you are a predator of the worst kind. You targeted the most vulnerable members of our society. You exploited their trust, their loneliness, their need for care. You murdered 15 innocent people for money. And you did it with such calculation, such cruelty, that this court has no choice but to impose the maximum sentence." Angela showed no emotion, just stared straight ahead. "You are hereby sentenced to 15 consecutive life sentences without the possibility of parole. Additionally, you will serve 450 years for the fraud, attempted murder, and elder abuse charges. You will die in prison, Ms. Morrison, and the world will be safer for it. Angela was led away in chains. She didn't look back, didn't acknowledge the families of her victims sitting in the courtroom, didn't show an ounce of remorse. Eleanor squeezed my hand. "Thank you," she whispered. "You saved my life. You saved your own life. You knew something was wrong. You fought back. You're the bravest person I've ever met." Angela Morrison is currently serving her sentence at FCI Hazleton in West Virginia, high-security federal prison. She'll never see the outside world again. The FBI investigation into Loving Hands Senior Care revealed it was a front operation. The owner, a man named Gerald Hutchins, had been recruiting caregivers specifically to exploit and kill wealthy elderly clients. He got a cut of every insurance payout, every inheritance scam, every dollar stolen. He got 60 years federal time. He'll die in prison too. They found evidence of 23 total murders, not just Angela's 15. Other caregivers had been doing it too. An entire network of killers targeting the elderly. The case made national news, led to reforms in home care agency regulations, background checks, monitoring, oversight. But the damage was done. 23 families destroyed, 23 lives stolen. Eleanor moved to California to live with her daughter. Last I heard, she's doing well, gardening, painting, living the life Angela tried to take from her. The offshore accounts Angela bragged about, frozen, seized, distributed to the victims' families. $2 million recovered. It didn't bring anyone back, but it was something. As for me, this case changed me. I'd seen elder abuse before, financial exploitation, even attempted murder. But I'd never encountered pure evil until Angela Morrison. She didn't kill for passion, for anger, for revenge. She killed because it was profitable, because she could, because nobody was watching. And that's the real horror of this story. Angela Morrison wasn't a monster. She was a businesswoman. Murder was just her job. Torture was just her process. She slept peacefully at night knowing she was killing people. Because to her they weren't people. They were prophets. If you made it this far, I need you to understand something. Angela Morrison is in prison. But there are others like her. Right now, in homes across America. Caregivers who aren't caring, who are hunting. Here's what you need to watch for. Your elderly family member suddenly getting sicker with no clear diagnosis. Unexplained weight loss, vomiting, confusion beyond normal aging. These could be signs of poisoning. Caretakers who isolate the victim, who control all phone calls, visits, communication, who insist the family is overreacting when they express concern. Sudden changes to wills, beneficiaries, power of attorney documents, especially when the elderly person seems confused or can't clearly explain why they made changes. Medications that look different, taste different, or have effects they shouldn't. Always verify prescriptions with the pharmacy directly. Hidden cameras, missing money, valuables disappearing. Any sign that someone is watching, controlling, or stealing. Trust your instincts. If something feels wrong, it probably is. Don't let a caregiver convince you that you're overreacting. Don't let them gaslight you into thinking your loved one is just confused. Eleanor Vaughn is alive because she trusted her gut, because she fought back, because she refused to be a victim. If this investigation opened your eyes to the danger hiding in plain sight, subscribe to this channel right now. Hit that notification bell. Share this video with anyone who has elderly family members. Drop a comment if you've ever suspected a caregiver wasn't what they seemed. Your story could save a life. I'm Marcus Stone. I investigate the cases that haunt me long after they're closed. And this one's going to haunt me forever. Because I keep thinking about those 15 victims who didn't have someone like Eleanor's courage, who died alone, scared, knowing something was wrong but unable to stop it. Angela Morrison stole 23 lives, but she stole something else too. Trust. The ability to feel safe with the people who are supposed to care for us. That's the real horror. Not that monsters exist, but that sometimes they're the ones we invite into our homes. Stay vigilant. Protect your family. And remember, if someone is supposed to be caring for your loved one but they're getting worse instead of better, ask why, before it's too late. This story is based on real caregiver serial killer cases. Elder abuse homicides are severely underreported, with estimates suggesting thousands of murders go undetected each year. Names and details change to protect victim privacy.